Ignoring XDC could be a big mistake, especially now with institutional adoption on the rise. We have an XDC ETP in Europe, an ETF on the way, Tier 1 exchange, listings, and billions being tokenized on XDC with so much more. So if you hold XDC or just enjoy watching the videos, be sure to leave a like down below. And with that said, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so a quick reminder for every video that we make on the channel, this is not financial advice and for entertainment purposes only. Nothing in crypto is guaranteed and you could lose all of your money. Stay safe and do your own research. So most people are currently ignoring XDC. Here are 4 points in the short term and long term that are going to change that. The first one is exchange listings. Binance US listing XDC. XDC is now in the US exchange system and the seal is now broken, right? Momentum begins and other exchanges follow suit. It's why XDC is in a listing roadmap for cracking a tier 1 exchange. If we look at XDC's price action, it's still up 3x from the 2024 lows, reaching a 6x peak in early January of 2025, and that's without any tier 1 exchanges, right? When you think about the other X tokens, or the ISO 2122 utility tokens like HBAR or QNT, they are available on every exchange out there, but not XDC. So XDC's price has been fueled by real world trade tokenization. Just imagine when the global trade applications reach mainstream adoption. And XDC is one of the few cryptocurrencies to have isolated moves in the market, right? Going back to 2023 July, when most of the market was moving sideways, XDC went from 3 cents to 9 cents mainly because of the Electronic Trade Documents Act, which gave electronic trade documents the same legal standing as paper, which is great for XDC as they are tokenizing trade finance. And also the ISO utility crypto X coin run in late 2024. Most altcoins in the market, which I hold in my portfolio, revisited their lows prior to that run. XDC has created a baseline around 5 to 6 cents. And this is not a hype driven increase. This is clear consolidation, sustained outperformance, right? Utility driven momentum. In a market where correlation is key, to see utility cryptocurrencies hold their own based on adoption or utility is something we have been dreaming of for a very long time. We are being vindicated over time, and people are finally coming back to quality cryptocurrencies, utility cryptocurrencies. When they venture outside of that, it usually ends badly, and it's why the majority of pump fund traders, like 33.7 million wallets, only 55,000 of those are earning over 10k or more. So traders are losing money on short-term hype while adoption-driven assets like XDC are continuing to build real value. But when you look at these social metrics for XDC being near all-time lows, BitPump being near all-time highs, you'd think the opposite is happening. The third reason why most people are going to stop ignoring XDC is institutional presence slowly increasing over time. We recently have the XDC ETP by 21 shares in Europe, nearly reaching $28 million in assets under management. This is backed 1-to-1 physically. So there is now a direct pipeline into European capital markets, and XDC is recognized as a regulated investment vehicle for traditional institutions. It is clearly the next step. Now, many people believe that the ETFs are pointless or we will not see that much inflows. Well, obviously, Bitcoin has been available in the open market for a very long time and seen inflows in terms of tens of the billions because of the custody, the liquidity, the access, the ease of use, the tax implications, and many more. The trust that these platforms offer. Now, speaking of ETFs, you always have an ETF filing for XDC on the way, an S1 filing process stated by the co-founder of XDC. We also have Circle, the company behind USDC, integrating with XDC. So USDC and CCTPv2 are set to launch on XDC, so cross-chain transfer protocol, which essentially allows USDC to move seamlessly across blockchains. So they're bringing the world's largest regulated stablecoin to a blockchain purpose-built for trade finance. So companies on XDC can now settle real-world payments directly. Also, in terms of institutional presence, we have tokenization on XDC. So Vert Capital using XDC to tokenize $1 billion worth in real world assets. We also have USDY built on XDC, giving tokenized access to a US Treasury fund managed by BlackRock. We have Archax, Securitize, TradeTech, and Comtech. So XDC is allowing lenders to turn real world assets into digital ones. They can trade or collateralize. So many people believe that tokenization is just digital representations of assets, but it's more so about unlocking their utility in the digital economy. So when we combine all these things for institutional presence, like tokenization of RWAs, the ETFs, the ETPs, integrations, partnerships, and so on, that's where we're going to see an uptick in impressions, people actually catching on to XDC. If we look at Bitcoin, the first ETF filing was an absolute massive spike compared to the lows throughout the majority of 2023, and obviously the absolute peak being the ETFs approved in January 2024. This is soon to come for XDC. Moving on to the final point, price creating narrative will change the fact that people are ignoring XDC. And we've spoken about this concept in previous videos, mainly with QNT, right? It's in a similar bracket in the sense that it's been ignored while institutional interest and adoption has never been higher, right? In QNT's case, we are seeing exchange reserves go down, 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 but we are seeing more uses for QNT through staking coming in a couple of months. In XDC's case, we are seeing tier 1 listings emerge. We have not seen this at all in the cycle. We have the ETP approved, volume, ETF on the way, tokenization in terms of the billions. The conditions are truly set. And as this grows and grows, you're going to see investors and media analysts catch on to what's going on with XDC. And it truly is going to be a self reinforcing narrative as adoption and utility increases the price too. And with Sibos 2025, the world's premier financial services event, bringing CEOs, executives, decision makers from the world's top fintechs, banks to discuss the future of payments, securities, and trade. With XDC being exhibitor there, and it's only been next month, I feel like a lot of new eyeballs are going to be on XDC, whereas people ignoring XDC will probably be no more. So stay tuned for that and updates with this on the channel. But that's going to be pretty much it for today's video. Just a short and sweet video, because even though XDC is above the bear market lows of 2 to 3 cents, there is still opportunity between what's actually going on with the network and how many people are aware of it. But if you made it this far in the video, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.